Welcome to video session. Hello girls. Today we will discuss about scope of history. By the by, how are you? How are you studying? Are you revising the syllabus? What we are giving? What we are delivering lectures? Are you revising it? Every day you revise whatever the subject you learn. After video lessons, you recollect all the points and study well. Okay, don't waste the time. Soon, very soon, colleges may be going to be opened. By that time, I will ask you what are all the topics we have discussed here. I am going to ask you. Okay, you study well. So today we are going to speak on scope of history. I am going to deliver a lecture on scope of history, which is very important for examination point of view. And this is a topic for BA first year students of first sem. So see, this BA first year students, most of them may be from other than social sciences, so they may not be having the idea of social science subjects, history, economics, political science. Maybe they might have taken science or commerce background. So nothing to worry for them. See, by studying BA, there are many opportunities. There is a lot of scope for job. It is a job oriented course. So after completion of your degree, you can go for IAS, civils. You can write exams for UPPSC, state level exams also you can appear, groups also you can write. Otherwise you can go for PG graduation. Okay, so nothing to worry. Whatever you study well, and you should be thorough in that particular subject, and you should have basics. Basics only will help you to score more marks. From inner to top level, you should be thorough in the particular subject, so that there will be lot of scope for you to score good marks in competitive exams to secure a good job. Okay, so now today we will discuss about scope of history. This is a question for essay type. Explain in brief the scope of history. So already in previous chapters we have discussed about definition of history, meaning of history. So you all know what is meant by history. Recollect what is meant by history. History is the record of past event. So it is the record of past events. So according, various historians have defined history in different ways. So some historians say that history is the record of past, present as well as future. So unless you have past knowledge, you cannot proceed to the present or future. So to acquire past knowledge, you should study history books. So historical sources are very important for providing past knowledge of history. Okay, so this scope of history is very broad and wide. The scope of history is very broad and wide. So first of all, before going to discuss about scope of history in a detailed way, first of all you should know what is meant by scope. Okay, now scope means the scope of history. So scope means the area covered by the subject. So the area covered by the subject is known as scope. The area covered by the subject is called as scope. General dimensions covering area of the subject is a scope. So general dimensions covering area of the subject history is a scope. So here historical scope means to narrate what to explain what happened, to discuss how it happened, and to analyze why it happened. So that is a scope in history. So in history many incidents will happen. So history is the record of past events. Various incidents occur in particular time. So scope, by studying scope you will understand why it happened, how it happened, for what purpose it has happened, why it has analyzed, what is the necessity for it to occur, such an revolution or a freedom movement or a event. So to analyze why it happened. Okay. So two areas of scope of history. There are two areas of scope of history and its functions. History as collection of data. So history is a collection of data. You already studied. Like history is the study of archaeology. So what is meant by archaeology? Archaeology is the study of dates, like chronological wise. So what is meant by chronology? Collection of data. That means chronological wise. Like date wise. It should come according to the serial number. So that is what chronology. So here scope means, historical scope means it is a collection of data. Second one is interpretation of data. So first one is collection of data, second one is interpretation of data to explain fundamental sources of history. So interpretation of data means to explain the fundamental sources of history. Okay. History is the collection, organization, information. History is a collection, organization and information. The scope of history, it deals with the events from Paleolithic civilization to present age. So the scope of history, it deals with from Paleolithic civilization to present age. So Paleolithic civilization means from Stone Age to present era. In Stone Age what all we study? In Stone Age we are going to study about Paleolithic civilization, Mesolithic civilization, Neolithic civilization, Bronze Age and Iron Age. Okay. So it is the study of, the scope covers the area covered by the subject is a scope. So from Paleolithic civilization to present era it deals with. So from Paleolithic means you study about Stone Age. Okay. Then it also studies about buildings of Harappan civilization, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilization. So it is a prehistoric. It also describes about prehistoric, protohistoric and historic. It deals with prehistoric, protohistoric and historic. So prehistoric means covering of Stone Age period. So at that time written source is not available. So by understanding their life, their way of life, we have to write history about that particular aspect. So proto-history means what? Written source is available but not to the possible extent. History means, so written source is available and we can as well understand the records of history. So prehistory written not available. Okay, proto-history written available but not to the possible extent. So history means written source is available. So how many sources are there? Literary source and archaeological source. So by studying that literary sources and archaeological sources, you will understand the particular civilization of the country existing during that particular period. It deals history scope. By studying history, you can also get information about how to survive in times of difficulties. It also helps to understand problems in times of difficult situations. It helps us to understand policies, rules and regulations. History also helps us to understand policies, rules and regulations. It provides moral values. What are moral values? Always speaking truth, following the principles of non-violence, at unavoidable circumstances also not to speak lie. Okay, there are many moral values but few of them I told you. So it provides identity. It also provides identity. Unless you have some identity, you cannot do anything. So it also helps in providing identity. It provides information on family, society, country, world and so on. So it also provides information on family, how to live in the society, country, what relationships the country should maintain in times of any difficult situations or else in times of war, how to solve the problems. So all those things are discussed in history. So studying history is very essential. It helps not only in securing a good job but also helps in becoming a good citizen of the society. So nowadays, recently, this subject has been introduced in engineering colleges also, because most of the engineering students after completion of their graduation, they are going for further studies like writing some competitive exams. For that purpose, this subject has been introduced in engineering colleges also. So that's why as a history student, from now onwards only you concentrate on the subject and be thorough with the knowledge from basics. The study of history is essential for good citizenship. It deals with kings, kingdoms, monarchs. Okay. It provides past knowledge. It also helps in giving good education. It gives us information about educational institutions that are prevailing from ancient time to present era. So different rulers have ruled the country from ancient time to present period. So how the educational opportunities were given, how the women position was there at that particular time, whether women was allowed to educate or not. So all those things you are going to study here. It also provides information on national values. What is meant by nationalism? Possessing common wealth, speaking common language, all Indians are equal. So that is known as nationalism. Okay. It also helps in providing social, cultural values, how to live in the society. It also provides information on cultural aspects. It also provides information on educational services, because it helps to secure a good job, and it also helps to become a good citizen of the society. So now, classification of scope of history. The classification of scope of history is very broad, wide. So we have in classification political history, cultural history, social history, national history, intellectual history, economic history, political history. So now we will discuss about political history. So a political history deals with human beings. Okay, political history deals with human beings, about political leaders, about kings, monarchs from ancient period to present times. By studying about Kautilya's Ardhashastra, we can understand how during the ancient times the kings ruled the kingdom. For example, the principles followed by Dharma in running the administration. The principles followed by Ashoka. The principles of Dharma followed by Ashoka in running the administration. There are 14 principles in Ashoka's Dharma. So each principle explains different aspect of administration in a different way. Like for example, second inscription of Ashoka, second principle of Ashoka Dharma deals with planting of trees on either sides of the road, like that. For example, fourth principle of Ashoka's Dharma describes about everyone should follow the principles of Dharma. One who disobey the rules and regulations, punishments will be severe. Okay. So yeah, in politics we can also quote the examples of Rousseau, Voltaire and Napoleon. Napoleon, when he came to the throne, when he became the king of France, he said that I was born when my country was dying. That means I was born when my country was there in a difficult situation. So when Napoleon became the king of France, at that time the France was economically, socially, politically very backward. So Napoleon wanted to improve the condition of France. That's why after he had come to the throne, he said that I was born when my country was dying. So next, after political aspect, in political history also, it also deals with political leaders. Okay. So next we have cultural history. So cultural history means following the principles of dharma. What cultural aspects are followed from ancient times to present era. What traditions are followed, how the festivals have been celebrated, how different religions are following their customs and traditions. That is studied in cultural history. By studying about cultural history, we can also understand about dharma artha. Okay. Then we have social history. So social history helps us to understand the study of society, how a human beings have to survive in the society. In times of any difficult situation, some problems arise, how he has to solve certain problems. All those things are studied in social history. Social history probably helps the human beings to become a good citizen of the society. So social history describes about human beings and their survival in the society. It also describes about families, peer groups. Okay. So it also describes about Hindus, Muslims and Britishers. Like different kingdoms have ruled India. So it also describes about Hindu, Muslim and British rule. So next we have economic history. So economic history means, economics means study of wealth. So it deals with economic aspects. How the kings have spent the money, whether they have spent the money in a appropriate way for the welfare of the country, or how what they have done. So by studying economic history, you will come to know about different kingdoms and their rules. So there are great economic historians like R.C. Dutt, Dadabhai Nauroji, Adam Smith, the father of economics. By studying their books, you can understand the economic history very well. Then after that we have religious history. In religious history, we have Puranas, Vedas. Okay, Puranas, Vedas, Puranas, Vedas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Ithihasa Granthas, Upanishads. So all these things you are going to study, like Buddhism, Jainism, how they have tried their level best to spread Buddhism in different parts of the world. How Mahavira has tried his level best to spread Jainism in different parts of the society. So all those things you are going to study in religious history. Okay, really it deals with, so already I told you, it deals with Puranas. How many Puranas are there? There are 18 Puranas. That's why they are known as Ashtadasha Puranas. Then we have constitutional history. Okay, how the After independence, how the constitution has come into existence, for what purpose it has come, why the people have tried for constitutional form of government, why they don't want monarchical form of government. All those things you are going to study in constitutional history. So that's why history is a subject to narrate, to explain why it had happened, to explain, to analyze. All those things you are going to study. So it deals with ancient, medieval and modern kingdoms. So military history. So military history is very much related to political history. It is something very much close to political history. So military strength of the king should be very powerful, effective, capable, efficient. Then only the administration will go on in a smooth way. For example, the first battle of Panipat, the military organization of Babur, we can take the example for establishing Mughal administration in India. Like that, likewise, second battle of Panipat, the military organization of Akbar for expansion and consolidation of Mughal administration in India. So after that we have diplomatic history. Diplomatic history means it is just like a foreign policy, how the countries have to maintain relationships with other countries. That is known as diplomatic policy. So here we can study the source as Machiavelli. Okay. Then we have intellectual history. There are some of the great intellectuals who strove hard for getting independence to India. There are some of the intellectuals who tried their level best for solving problems of the people, like by writing many books. So all those things you are going to study in history. Then local history. So local history means in local history it deals with the local areas, how the surroundings are, how the buildings are, whether the street lights are provided or not. Like ancient history, if we take for example Indus Valley civilization, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, like that. Then we have regional and provincial history. In regional and provincial history we are going to discuss about in regional history we are going to discuss about Cholas, Chalukyas, Rashtrakutas and Pallavas. So Cholas, the village administration of Cholas is a good example for present day life. So we can compare that time and this time, this present period, and see how the administration is going on, and we can try our level best to improve the policies. Chalukyas and Pallavas, Rashtrakutas, they have constructed many temples. Then we have national history. So national history provides common values for throughout the nation. So scope of history means already I told you the area covered by the subject. So again we will recollect here few points. What is meant by scope? Scope means the area covered by the subject. So, general dimensions covering area of the subject under history is a scope to narrate. Here we can take history has two functional scopes: to narrate what happened. So, to narrate what happened, to discuss how it happened, to analyze and why it happened. Okay. To narrate what happened, to discuss how it happened, to analyze why it happened. So, two areas of the scope of history are collection of data and interpretation of data. Okay. Now you see the slides, all the slides, so that you will understand very well. Okay, ma'am? Okay then. Thank you. Bye. See you in next session. Until then, study well.